It is very important for the American people to see what's going on here. You have this senior Obama and Biden political appointee, Matthew Colangelo, getting deployed to the Soros-funded Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office to bring this bogus case against President Trump that was passed over by the prior Manhattan DA, the Manhattan U.S. Attorney, the Federal Election Commission, and Alvin Bragg himself, who campaigned on getting Trump. He didn't even think this case was worthy until Colangelo
That's right.
Went to Bragg's office to bring these bogus charges. The American people need to see that this is a Biden hit on President Trump.
I think they also need to see how it goes all the way to Attorney General Merrick Garland as well. He used to work for Garland, and just yesterday we know that there was the House vote to hold him in contempt, but they don't control the Senate. So there you go, and that's where sort of this will all fall out. But you made a very astute point, and in one of your posts on X talking about how Garland is okay sending Peter Navarro to prison. Now it will be Steve Bannon next for not, contempt of Congress, but not him. I also want to play a little bit here of James Comer, who's joining us in just minutes, of exactly what he said moments before the vote with Merrick Garland yesterday.
What is the Biden administration trying to hide? Attorney General Merrick Garland's refusal to produce this evidence establishes a clear pattern of obstruction by the DOJ to cover up President Biden's wrongdoing.
Now, this is over the Hur tapes, but there's also the point there that Colangelo left his office. And that day when he was testifying, you know full well, they said, just give us the correspondence. And if there's nothing to hide, he refused.
We've had constitutional executive privilege for 250 years, going back to George Washington, and President Biden and his White House counsel team and Merrick Garland and these Democrat prosecutors have eviscerated that to get Trump. They have Peter Navarro, President Trump's White House trade director, sitting in prison right now. They're trying to send Steve Bannon to prison for asserting constitutional executive privilege and not cooperating with the January 6th Commission. Now we have Merrick Garland, who already turned over the transcripts of Robert Hur's conversation with President Trump. So you've waived any privilege by turning over the transcripts. But now he's claiming that they're not going to turn over the tapes. This is a political cover-up by Merrick Garland to protect his demented boss, Joe Biden.
How bad must those audio tapes be? Incredible if they're going to these lengths here. Let's move to the Georgia case. Fani Willis, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled against her and a judge in a case with a rapper, Young Thug. Basically, it was unraveling that the defense attorney, Brian Steele, had this alleged plot by Fani and the judge to intimidate witnesses. There's some evidence that she did that with Nathan Wade's ex-wife before this all came to light with what she's facing now. And here's a little bit of Nathan Wade. I think he still wants a reality show because he's out there doing interviews, and he was asked about Fani yesterday and had this weird exchange on CNN.
On trial, if he's in the White House?
I do believe that he can.
Okay.
I don't believe that it looks good to the rest of the world, but certainly I don't think that there's anything that will prevent that from happening.
What if he's convicted?
I don't understand the question. If he's convicted, then just like any other defendant who's convicted, then you go through the sentencing process.
I think there's a lot they don't understand down in Fulton County, like the law, Mike.
Yeah, so Big Fani Willis hired her big dumb boyfriend, Nathan Wade, who we just saw. She paid him $250 an hour in taxpayer funds, Fulton County funds, and federal COVID funds. She paid him $700,000, and then she took illegal kickbacks from her dumb boyfriend in the form of these lavish trips around the world. Remember, she went to Belize, she went to the Caribbean. She's a Grey Goose girl. She's a Grey Goose girl. She's a party animal now on the taxpayer dollars.
They keep cash at their house. Yeah.
She's going to get disqualified from this case. Her office is going to get disqualified from this case. And any sane, non-corrupt prosecutor who's brought in to handle this case will dismiss these charges because it's not a crime to object to a presidential election. It's allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887 and the First Amendment. Big Fani and her dumb boyfriend, Nathan Wade, may be the people who go to prison.